If you're a real estate wholesaler in 2025, the absolute best way to generate motivated sellers is online marketing, by far above and beyond anything else. Now, inside of that opportunity, in terms of online marketing, the absolute, I think, best opportunity right now is using Facebook ads for motivated sellers. And Facebook ads has been around for a little bit because I've been teaching and a pioneer in the Facebook ads for motivated sellers in the wholesaling niche since 2016. But a lot of things have changed since then, and things continue to change. And whenever something changes, something breaks, but then there's a new development and a new way of doing things. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what we're doing right now today to generate leads at an absurdly low cost. There's no reason today why you should be doing cold calling. I mean, the thought of you sitting on the phone and just for hours upon hours, talking to people that do not want to talk to you, having to deal with that rejection, to me, it makes no sense. Now, some people out there will tell you, well, you don't have the money to spend on ads. I've heard some people say, oh, you shouldn't do online marketing because you're going to spend, like $500 a lead. And yes, you could spend $500 a lead if you don't know what you're doing. You could spend $500 a lead if you're going to target such a tiny speck of an area that you got to pay a bunch of money. But if you're open to doing things in a different way, to expanding your horizons and doing deals all across the country, just like we're doing, then this channel, Facebook ads, is the ultimate way right now. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my screen, and I'm going to share with you exactly what we're doing. I have this, expand this here in a second. I'm going to show you the campaigns we're running, the ads we're running, the things that are not working that I've seen other people do. I have some screenshots from an agency that shall remain unnamed, where they weren't doing a good job. And I'll share with you how the whole system works, and even share with you how some of the leads look like, so that way you could see for yourself, hey, is this really good or not that great? So why don't we go ahead and actually right now, I'm going to zoom in here. Now, as I said before, things change all the time in this industry. I'm considered the godfather of virtual wholesaling. And so I created that whole concept back in 2008. Actually, I was doing virtual wholesaling since 2006 or 7. If you can imagine, there was no Google Street View back then. I don't even know how people survived. I don't know how I survived. There was no Google Maps. And as always in this business, things change. And with change, yes, comes a bit of friction, right? Because now you're having to change your business. But every time there's change that happens, in my opinion, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for those that will adapt. So here's an example. This is the old way we used to run campaigns. We run a variety of different campaigns. So when you're targeting motivated sellers on Facebook, you can target a variety of different ways. You can target by city, by state, by county. If you're brand new in the business, looking to get started, if you're just you're just rolling brand new in Facebook ads, I recommend nationwide. And we do deals all the time in very populated areas with leads from nationwide. But I'll explain to you in a second why this is such a key. So this is the campaign and the way that we normally run it, and it didn't do that well. We ran the campaign for a couple of days, and if you notice here, I'm going to zoom in here. There's a results here, cost per lead. So we spent $69 and only got one lead. That's not good. I'm the first to admit that. But then we did a pivot and we changed things around. And so we ran it a different way. And here's the after result. Spending the exact same amount of money. We went from spending $69 and getting one measly lead to now spending $71, about the same, $71, $69. And guess what we got? Look at this. We have 12 leads that have come in. 12 leads at $5.95 a lead. I know you're thinking, Chico, are these leads any good? They cannot be that great, Chico. Why? Because I'm spending with an agency so much money, they can't even get me these leads. I'm paying money to these pay per lead companies, and they're charging me a tremendous amount of money. How good are these leads? They're good. I'm going to share with you in a second. But even listen, and I'll share with you, and I'll actually show you a screenshot of the leads. without the addresses, of course, because they're live leads. And I know that we're friends and everything, but there might be people here on this channel that may actually call these leads, and so we don't want that to happen. But even if a couple of them were bad, it's not that big of a deal. Why? Because you're only spending $5.95 per lead. Not that much money. By the way, if you're interested, we can set up this entire system for you. Just click the link in the description, fill out some details. I'll come back to you. I'll give you all the information, no sales call required, and then you can see for yourself what it's going to take. And now you can finally get out of the cold calling penitentiary, get some hot leads, warm incoming leads, and start doing deals. How do we run these campaigns? Well, right now, predominantly, most of our leads are coming from images. Now, this wasn't the case. About 3 to 4 months ago. 3 to 4 months ago, the majority of our leads were coming from videos. And either I was doing the video myself, or we were hiring actors on Fiverr in order to record the videos. And the images were not producing hardly any leads, but we kept them in there. But something changed. I don't know what changed inside of Facebook, but for whatever reason, these are the ones that are, these type of images are producing results. And now you might be thinking, Chico, these are the most horrible images I've ever seen in my life. Your color coordination, your concept of the color wheel is horrible. I know that, but this is intentional. We want to get leads. We want people, as they're browsing through Facebook, to stop and say, what the hell is this? And they look at it, they read it, and they make that fast decision to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm interested in getting an offer. And they submit it. I tell you what doesn't work. Ads like this. Some of you watching this actually have ads like this. Some of you have an agency that have ads like this. In fact, I know that for a fact. Why? Because I got these from a client who came to us and wanted us to build out the campaigns for them and show them how to run these campaigns. And they had an agency that they had paid $7,500 for, and these are the ads that they were running. They were doing horrible. These are just cookie cutter, blah, blah, blah ads. You don't need that. You need something spicy. You need something that catches people's attention, something obnoxious, just like your friend Chico here. These are the type of images. Now, we do have ad copy. Your typical, we buy houses ad copy, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference, honestly. This is all ChatGPT generated. It's really designed so that Facebook can read this and know and understand our avatar. But at the end of the day, the people they're just going to read a couple of lines of the headlines. They're going to read the big obnoxious ad, and then they're going to make a decision. Why? Because they're busy. They're watching a cat, maybe watching their cat videos. Maybe they're sitting on the toilet for all we know and watching Facebook. They don't got time to read all these ads. Do you have time? Do you sit there when you see an ad on Facebook and read through the whole ad and the copy? If you do, then we've got a problem. But at the end, it doesn't really matter. The images are the key. So focus on the images. Now, when the customer sees the ad, now they're going to go ahead and take an action. They're going to click on a button, and now that then goes to the next step. Now, a lot of you are making a mistake, and a lot of these agencies are doing this, where they pitch some fancy system that they got a landing page, and they got this and they got that on the landing page. And let me tell you, our experience has been that it's best to keep them on the platform. So we want to use Facebook's own internal lead collection system. They're called instant forms, lead forms, to collect the customer data. We want to increase the lead quality by asking a bunch of questions, but we don't want to take them off of the platform. Why? Because, Facebook wants them to stay on the platform. They want them to see your ad, click on a button, fill out the form. You've got a lead. You're happy. You're going to continue spending money with Facebook. And then now that person stays on Facebook, and they're going to start watching more cat videos or doing whatever they were doing on Facebook. That's what Facebook wants. And so we want to keep them on the platform. So this is what we do. We use lead forms, and this is the information that we ask. Single family, we ask what kind of property is it. We ask if the property is listed or not. We do not want to deal with listed properties. We tell people, look, if you speak with a property owner and the property is listed, they got to discount that sucker way, way lower than they have it listed. And many times they can't cancel the agreement, so that means that we have to deal with pain in the ass agents. We don't like to deal with pain in the ass agents, and most agents are pain in the ass. So we want to avoid that. Don't worry if you're an agent. I'm an agent. I have a inactive real estate license. So if I was an agent, I'd be a pain in the ass too. The condition of the property, reason for wanting to sell, and then we have who's living at the property, the location of the property, and what else are we going to ask? Oh, and then just the basic contact information, right? So now let's take a look at some of the leads that come in from these type of campaigns. I'm going to zoom in here. It is blurred out. Listen, I trust you, but there might be some new people coming into the channel that might look at these leads and say, oh my gosh, free leads. I get a chance to call other people's leads. People would do that. So here's what we have. They're located in a variety of different areas. You can see the price points. You're going to get people that are asking crazy money. Typically, those are not deals. $1 million, $2 million, $825. It's unless it's $825 in Palo Alto, California, typically not going to be a deal. The ones that are the deals are the smaller numbers: 60, 83, 72, 80 grand, 290, 50K. Some of them are mobile homes. If the land is included with a mobile home, it's a viable deal. We make great money with mobile homes where the land is included. Otherwise, it's a motor vehicle sale. Most of them are single family. We don't really pay attention to vacant land. And then some townhouses to row houses. You can see here, this where you see all the no's, that is the question of, is the property listed with a real estate agent? They all said, no, that's great. This is the work required: minor renovations, major cosmetic work, etc. Here's some of the issues why they're selling: tired landlord, financial hardship, etc., etc. Who's living at the property, owner occupied or vacant, etc. And so these are the type of leads that come in. And again, just to reiterate what I said before, do all these leads have to be good? They do not. Not at $5.95. Now, here's the thing. If you're paying per lead, right, for these pay-per lead providers, or maybe you're running, you have an agency running your leads and they're giving you, $75, $100 leads. When you get those leads, you're going to want to make sure that you extract as much as you can from them and you call every single one. Why? Because you're spending $100 a lead. That's a lot of money. That's like throwing away $100 bill every time it comes in. Oh, you know what? Forget about it. I don't want to call that lead. Here's $100 out the window. You wouldn't do that. Now, a 5-spot, maybe you would. $5.95, maybe you would be like, you know what? It's not a big deal. I got other ones coming. Now, if you're brand new in the business, I suggest you call everybody. Why? Because you need the practice. You probably don't sound that great over the phone. You stumble on your words, and you got to get better on the phone. And so why not call everybody and practice, knowing that, hey, you know what? They're only $5 leads. If I mess them all up today, then you don't want to do that. You want to do your best. But if you mess up all of them today, then tomorrow a bunch of new ones will come down, and then you're going to have another party again tomorrow with all these leads. And so, at the end, this is where the game is that you want to be. And the game is you need lots of leads. If you don't have lots of leads, then you're stuck. You're stuck cold calling. You're stuck just every single day. You're like, oh, where am I going to get the leads? Where am I going to get the leads? And I haven't even mentioned, like, if you wanted to, if you're doing agent outreach or some of these other strategies. And the name of the game is online lead generation. And so here's what I suggest. Take a look at this video here. That video goes into even more detail about the campaigns we run and how we run this model. And that way you can figure out if, in fact, this just might be the thing that you've been lacking to take your wholesaling business to the next level.